Hey, I just turned 50. I'm sitting here and will be celebrating with my life partner and my standard poodle buddy. No big party, no chaos. And I know my three daughters at 21, 19, and 15 are not going to text me happy birthday. Not this year. Their mom's not here. My mom can't be here. And I want to talk to you about what it means to hit a birthday like this. And finally, stop abandoning yourself to prove you're a good person. See, for 20 years, I did what everybody says a good dad, a good husband should do. I ran multiple businesses. I kept us here in the Bay Area neighborhood where the top 3% live so my kids could go to the best schools. I skipped 4 of my own birthdays because I was on a 14-hour flight. I leave on December 9th and land on December 11th. I told everyone, "Oh, I don't care. It's just a birthday." That was a lie. It hurt. But I thought being strong meant pretending. It didn't. Meanwhile, inside the house, their mom was mentally unstable, screaming at full volume over brush your teeth, pack your backpack, eat your dinner, eat it, if it was something they didn't want to eat. You can't even set dinner plates. Morning, night, every day. My daughters would look at me like, "Can you fix this?" And I couldn't. So here's what I did instead. I tried to fix everything else. More money, more responsibility, more load. I took bigger risks. There was a $400 million project that was supposed to secure everything for us. Instead, it failed. I went personally bankrupt. I got back up because that was my reflex. Something breaks, you don't feel, you just fix it. And then my body hit the emergency brakes for me. I had a brain aneurysm. Ruptured brain aneurysms are fatal in around half of the cases. A lot of people don't make it out the first days or months. I did, but barely. That was the moment I had to face a really ugly truth. My nervous system had been in a war zone for years, and I kept calling it being a good man. If you grew up in an immigrant, Asian, or we don't complain family, this will sound familiar. There's an old Chinese saying that I grew up with. Lean on a mountain, the mountain will fall. Lean on a person, the person will run. Lean on yourself. That's the only way, the best way. That's 靠山，山会倒；靠人，人会跑；靠自己最好。I knew that, and then I did the opposite. I leaned onto the business, on status, on being in the right neighborhood. Then they fell. I leaned on people, marriage, family, and they ran. And what did I do? I doubled down, carried it for everyone. Even now, years after a divorce, I still pay my ex's housing in the Bay Area, her car insurance, her gas and tolls, the kids' credit cards and Amazon orders. Legally, I don't have to, but I do. Why? Responsibility reflex, Asian duty, this belief that good people keep paying even when the relationship is dead. And here's the kicker. My daughters want nothing to do with me because I started dating again. Their mom wants nothing to do with me. But the money, that they're happy to receive. So this semester, something shifted. I told my daughters, if you want me to pay tuition, you send the bill directly to me, not through their mom. No bill, no reply. I saved tens of thousands of dollars this semester. I have no idea who paid, how they handled it, if they took loans. And it brought me back to how I grew up. My sister and I paid our own way through university. We didn't dare ask our parents for help. They were hardworking immigrants who started with nothing. If anything, we contributed. we didn't take. I had tried so hard to give my girls everything I didn't have that I accidentally took away something that they needed. And that's the dignity of learning to carry some of their own life. So here's the sentence that punched me in the gut recently. I wasn't just a provider. I was an enabler. I wasn't strong enough to watch the people I love suffer in the short term so they could grow up in the long term. I know my 3 daughters are capable of creating income. I armed them with the education and opportunity. What I'm less certain about is relationships because I modeled overfunctioning. I modeled staying too long. Now I want to tell you what actually changed me in a very practical way. Buddy, my standard poodle. Hey, Buddy. So this is Buddy, my standard poodle. He's my service dog. See, Buddy doesn't know my net worth or my job titles. He knows my state. I'd be scrolling my phone, telling myself I was fine. See something about my daughters or get a message that hits that old wound, and Buddy would just get up, walk over, and lean into me before I even knew it. I was triggered. He could feel the shift in my body in the first 5 seconds. That's when I realized my body made decisions before my brain catches up. For those first 5 seconds after a trigger, the silence of no text, the memory of yelling, the weight of the bills. That's what I call the 5-second reflex. For decades, my 5-second reflex was to tighten up, absorb, take responsibility, and don't let anyone suffer. Carry more. Now I'm retraining it. When the silence hits on my birthday, the old story wants to fire. You're a failure. You're alone. You deserve this. I interrupt it. I breathe. Put my hand on my chest and on my belly, and I let my inner dad speak out loud instead. Inner dad is the part of me that finally tells the truth with compassion. He says, you were the one human standing in front of a hurricane. You did what you thought was the best with what you knew. You kept a roof over their heads in a world most people never see. You kept the cars running, you paid the bills, you tried to shield them from chaos you didn't create and couldn't cure. You taught them every life skill that they needed. And yes, you were overfunctional. Yes, you stayed too long. Yes, you enabled some of it. And yes, and also, you survived the bankruptcy. You survived the brain aneurysm that kills half the people it touches. And you're still here learning, telling the truth, building something for people who feel like you did. I'm proud of you for doing what you thought was best, even though it cost you almost everything. And that's the new reflex. Not carry everyone, die empty, but stand with yourself first. And then choose what compassion looks like from there. So what does turning 50 mean to me? It doesn't mean I don't love my kids. I do, deeply. It doesn't mean I don't hope they come back one day. I'll keep leaving breadcrumbs, videos like this, stories told honestly. So if they come looking, there's a trail back to who their dad really is. But until then, I'm living my life to the fullest. Not out of spite, out of respect for the second chance I got when that aneurysm didn't take me out. I'm sharing what I've learned. The nervous system works that first 5-second reflex, decades of collapse and rebuild, so you don't have to burn your life down the way I did to wake up. Life's too short to abandon yourself for people who won't meet you halfway. So if you're still watching, there's a reason why. Maybe you're the responsible one. You're the overgiver, the one who pays the bills for people who don't call. Ask yourself one question. Where am I abandoning me to prove I'm a good person? Now do this with me. One hand on the chest, one on the belly. Inhale through the nose 4. Hold for 2. And out the mouth all the way for 6. Say, I did my best. I choose me now. One more time. I did my best. And now I choose me now. You felt that? That's your turning point. And that's what we practice at Rebuild Dad and Reset Room. Updating that 5-second reflex from carrying everything to breathe, protect, and then choose. Click the link, join a 7-minute reset. You see, you don't need an aneurysm or a silent 50th birthday to decide I'm done proving my worth by destroying myself.
This is Rebuild Dad.